surviving?
Hot.
Mighty cold. Hey, how was your morning?
Quite cold. Very cold.
Yeah, I mean, amazingly cold. Hello, Daniela, Dayan, Elizabeth, Mariano, Patricio, Sebastián.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
afternoon.
teacher.
Hello, teacher. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing? It's been quite a cold morning. Luckily, over here, I can see some sun shining. We're getting some sun rays. That's a good day to go outside, right?
Yes, it's very it's cold, but it's not a freezing cold.
Exactly, not freezing. I think we can have the class.
I
Dayan,
am near to
go
the
ahead.
calefactor since the morning.
So you haven't separated from the heater the whole morning.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you got to find a way to survive, right?
Exactly.
All right, good. Good for you. Good for you. So yeah, it's like one of those days in which you want to have the class outside. A couple of times when we were face-to-face classes, we would go out and have a class session, a class basically outside and not within the walls, right? Because but depending on the activity, of course. Usually, communicative competences or phonetics are classes in which you can have lots of interaction. So that was a good option to take advantage of a sunny day. Hey, Diego.
Hello, teacher.
How you doing?
Fine, and you?
Now I'm all right. Now I'm leveled, right? Diego, do you remember your presentation on dialects last semester? Do you remember which dialects you were contrasting?
It was New York English and I can't remember the other one.
Sorry about the question, but so what was the first one?
It was New York English, but I don't remember the other one.
That's all right. New York English. The same question I'm asking Diego, I'm going to ask everyone in the room. Okay. Hello, Fernanda. Hi, Cristobal.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
All right, all right. So I'm going to ask you the same question. Which dialects did you talk about during your last presentation? And what I want you to do is at least remember one dialect and at least remember one characteristic, one feature that you remember from that specific dialect.
I remember one of my dialogue.
Okay, go, Gustav.
I presented about Malaysian English, also called Manglish. And I remember that they tend to add some words at the end of the utterance. So when they want to say something, they depending on what they add, that it could be la, lo, we, something like that. It implies different emotions. So for example, if I say hello, la, it's like I'm really excited that I saw you. So something like that. I remember.
You know what, Cristobal? I remember your presentation and it was so incredible because I watched presentations in YouTube and what you did was exactly what the speakers did in the videos. So I was very, very amazed. that you were able
Thank
to
you.
imitate. Yeah, that was very, very good. Malaysian English speaker. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Gustavo. Who remembers the dialect and at least one feature?
I don't know if Diego already said it because my internet is too bad sometimes, but in terms of New York accent, it tends to be more non-rhotic. I mean, non-rhotic was the feature of, yeah, the illusion of rhoticity. Yeah, they tend to be more like British-like.
Teacher, you're mute.
No, it's just that I like talking with my body. So, Patricia, is there like an example you could give?
Maybe the word park. I mean, instead of park, they will say park. I don't know if that example is correct. I just made up.
No, it's good. That's good. It's a great example. Park, great for a non-rhotic variety. Yeah, great, super. Um, does anyone else remember?
Last semester, I remember that. Last semester, I remember that we presented about Jamaican and Scottish English. And one of the features of the Jamaican English is that the pronunciation are totally different to the normal English that we have. And in the case of Scotland, I remember that if I don't know if I'm mistaken, but I remember that they like don't use the sound, one of the sound schwa, I guess. I think they omit that sound in the language. I don't remember clearly, but I think it was something like that. Instead of the, I mean, Jamaica, like I said, the pronunciation is totally different from the normal English.
Oh, yes, it is. And basically is how the contact of languages combined, particularly, I think you mentioned this in part of your presentation, Jolie. In the case of Jamaica and other countries in the Caribbean region, and also in other countries in South America, right, which received African slaves, or African people basically, who were kidnapped and brought. They were forced to speak a language, and they were forced to combine, and they learned English, not in a formal structure way, like going to school. So this combination had a very interesting product. I understand that first is sort of a pidgin, basic words used to um, express some basic needs, and then Creole, and then you have a dialect, right, in a language. So that was a very interesting. I think the Jamaican variety of English is quite easy to spot. It's quite easy to identify. I enjoyed that analysis because the two dialects that you were analyzing, Jolie, were so different. They were so different one from each other. Does anyone else remember a dialect in which you worked so hard and you gave your presentation? Just if you could remember one feature, that would be wonderful.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, I talked about Hong Kong English, and I remember that these speakers shortened vowels in diphthongs, For instance, for them, the word make would be pronounced something like mick, or let's say main would be meat, and they don't make the distinction between long vowels and short vowels either. That's what I can remember now.
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. It called my attention. I told you from the very beginning, they always learn something new when we have these sort of oral reports on dialects, right? So yeah, I do remember that, Elizabeth. Sebastian, you remembered, please.
Yeah, I presented Scottish English and Appalachia English. Um, in Scottish English, there is something really interesting, and that is they do not have long U. The sound, they don't have it. For example, pull and pull are homophones.
That's tricky. That's a tricky, right? That's a tricky combination. There's no minimal pairs, therefore, right? Appalachian English, people in the mountains, right, who spoke a very, very isolated variety of English. So the people who are right there stayed for a long time isolated from linguistic influence. Well, not just linguistic influences, but influences from many other people. Therefore, the language remained quite similar to the one at the very early stage, right? So that's a cool dialect, Appalachian English. Sounded very rural to me, very, very rural, and interesting because of the so many different sounds and so distinctive as well. Sorry. This, of course, if you remember at some point about your dialect and you would like to discuss or make a comment about the feature, feel free to interrupt at any moment, all right? Now, the two topics that are in the agenda for today are the evolution of the English language, and also we're going to discuss a bit about English as a lingua franca. The first topic deals to the different stages that English had as a language. So I'm going to show you, I think there are 9 questions. Let me go to the next slide. Yes, 9 questions. And what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at these 9 questions and see how many of them you're able to answer right now at this moment. Okay, So what do you think? My proposal is to watch a video to answer those questions. Now, we have, I guess, two options. I can share the video right here, okay? Or I can post the link to the video in the chat box. So you can watch the video, you can draft some ideas to answer the questions, and then we get back to answer the question as a group. What do you think?
Maybe we can watch it by our own, ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you
then
all
we can
agree
share.
with that? Great. Do you agree with Cristol's suggestion? Elizabeth does. Daniela does. Just waiting on Jolie. Patricia does, and Diego as well. Mariano Jolie. Mariana does as well. Jolie as well. And I guess Diane. Okay. And JD and F. JD. Jorge Diaz. Hello, Jorge. And F would be Fernanda. Okay, excellent. So the link to the video link is in the chat box. The video lasts about 12 minutes. So take 15 minutes. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to send a screenshot in the chat box as well. Right there. Okay, you read the questions first, so you know what you're going to be focusing on while you're watching the video. Then you watch the video. While you're watching the video, you take some notes, and then when we get back in 15 more minutes, you have some input in order to, so we can build together all of the answers. Okay, as a group. Do we have a deal? 15 minutes more? Yes? No? So I'll see you in 15 more minutes. And I'm going to stop recording. Okay.